for gossip and entertainment only. Let's get started.
Hello, gossiper. Sharona here. So we're now up to day 4 of the Diddy trial, and I read my articles from CNN. So shout out to CNN and all the journalists and reporters who are in the courtroom. And then when they return to the office, they tell what the takeaway is of the days. So if you haven't listened yet, please go listen to day 1, day 2, and day 3 of the Diddy trial. And now we're going to read day 4, and again from CNN. So it says, after 2 days of prosecution's questioning, Cassie Ventura faced a tougher interrogation Thursday under cross-examination from Sean Diddy Combs' legal team. Ventura testified for about 5.5 hours Thursday and answered questions about her sex with Combs. So it's spelled Sextx, sex. So like texting, but they're sexing. Whether anyone else knew about their drug-fueled sex parties known as freak-offs and Combs' own problems with opiates. So now we're going to get to the key takeaways from today's hearing Thursday. So it says, defense reads aloud Ventura's sex. The defense's cross-examination began with defense attorney Ana Estivo reading aloud affectionate messages Ventura sent Combs over the years. I'm a very lucky woman, Ventura wrote to Combs in a January 2008 text message. I miss you so much. I'd fly wherever you needed me whenever. I love you. Many other messages were sexually explicit. I'm always ready to freak off, LOL, she said in an August 2009 message. The jury was shown sex from 2012, reminiscing on past freak-offs and how they enjoyed when they made love after one of them. How can she have those freak-offs then have time to make love? Wasn't she tired or just... Okay. Ventura also confirmed she and Combs had conversations about the swingers' lifestyle, noting it was very different from the freak-offs. In a March 2017 text message, Ventura wrote that she enjoyed freak-offs when we both did it. I would say that love and freak-offs were just words at that point, she testified Thursday. Other messages shows Ventura's frustration. In other messages, Ventura expressed her hesitancy with the freak-offs. The last time was a mistake, but since has made me feel a little dirty and grimy as opposed to sexual and spontaneous. That's the only reason why I go back and forth in my mind with wanting and not wanting to do it, Ventura wrote him in December of 2009. I get nervous that I'm just becoming the girlfriend that you get your fantasies off with, and that's it. Some messages also showed her frustrations with her relationship with Combs. I never seem to make the right decisions to you, she wrote in October 2007, a few weeks after her 21st birthday. Ventura testified Combs kissed her for the very first time at that party. I am really hurt by the way you deal with me, she wrote him in April 2010. I don't need your money. I need some attention. I am thankful, but I can pay for these things myself. Ventura agreed that they had open communication, although she testified it was usually a go one-way street. She would send messages being open about her feelings more often than he would, she explained. Ventura didn't tell employees or friends about freak-offs. Ventura acknowledged she never told her friends or any of Combs' staff members about the freak-offs. Ventura said she definitely didn't want his staff to know about them. Assistant would often set up the hotel rooms beforehand, she said, but she didn't recall a staff member walking in during freak-off session. Still, she and her friends knew Combs physically abused her, sometimes because they witnessed it themselves. She also told her parents and brother about the abuse at different points, she testified. Combs overdosed on painkillers in 2012, Ventura testifies. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard of that with Puffy. Combs overdosed on painkillers in February 2012 and for a time had an addiction to opiates, Ventura testified. He and Ventura had a freak off and went to a sex club before Combs went without her to a party at the Playboy Mansion, he testified. Later that night, she took him to the hospital where they learned he'd experienced an overdose, she testified. From what he told me, he took a very strong opiate that night, but we didn't know what was happening, so we took him to the hospital, she testified. Estevao, the defense attorney, asked a series of questions regarding Combs' use of opiates and his mood when he was not using them. He was extremely independent on his opiates, right? The lawyer asked. For a time, Ventura said. He was very upset if opiates were taken away from him, Estevos asked. I guess so, Cassie said. Combs often said he didn't remember physically abusing her because he was inebriated when he did. Ventura confirmed when asked. She acknowledged getting him high on drugs was at a time part of the appeal of the freak-offs, and they called each other get high partners. So getting off on drugs was a part of the freak-off. Wow. Ventura said Combs was explosive at times when he'd find out that she was doing drugs with her friends or took his drugs without him knowing. If we weren't getting high or if I wasn't doing it with him, it was a problem, she said. You know what? Let me see if I can see what her first name is, because I'm going to keep butchering his defense attorney, her name. But let me see. 1 second. People, let me see. Okay, her name is Anna. So instead of her last name, I'm going to say Anna because I feel like I'm going to butcher her name going forward. And I don't want to do that. So her name is Anna. So where did we leave? Let me see. Then it was a problem. Okay. So now we're going to start again. Anna reviewed text messages that she said suggested Combs was going through withdrawal in the days before the March 2016 assault at the Intercontinental Hotel. Don't tell me they're going to use that as an excuse, that it was withdrawals. That's why he came out and... Ventura testified that she does not remember him going through withdrawals at the time, but she acknowledged the text appeared to suggest he was sick at the time. Multiple arguments over jealousy. The defense has said the case is really about jealousy, and on Thursday sought to show that Combs and Ventura's arguments usually came when he suspected her of cheating. Ventura testified that he had some jealousy of Kim Porter, the late model and actress who shares 3 children with Combs. Ventura also said she was really upset when she learned Combs was spending time with a woman referred to as Gina in April 2014. Ventura said they argued multiple times about Combs getting back together with Gina and argued about other women. Combs was often suspicious that she was romantically involved with other men, Ventura said, testifying he expected her to exclusively date him despite his own entanglements with many women over the years. Ventura added that his jealousy triggered his temper. It was a little scary, she said. Ventura testified that Combs was irate when he learned she was briefly dating the rapper Kid Cudi in 2011. Ventura said she broke it off with Kid Cudi after Combs assaulted her and threatened more violence on her and the rapper. Women on social media would often claim to have a relationship with Combs, Ventura testified. It happened often enough that I don't know that I would remember every single one, she said. Court pushing to finish Ventura's testimony before baby arrives. Because, she's like 8.5 months pregnant, so she can go into labor anytime. The court has taken a number of steps to ensure Ventura's testimony is completed by Friday, hoping to wrap up before the pregnant pop singer gives birth. Ventura is due to deliver a third child next month. In a discussion late Wednesday about whether to end Ventura's testimony 45 minutes early, prosecutor Maureen Comey laid out her concern. This witness is very, very pregnant. We are afraid she could have the baby over the weekend, Comey said, according to a court-provided transcript of the exchange. We want her off the stand before the weekend, and we believe 45 minutes could make a difference. The court previously issued guidance that proceedings will stretch until 5 p.m. for the first week of testimony, but the following weeks will only last until 3 p.m. Lunch breaks, generally an hour long, have been condensed to about 30 minutes this week. On Thursday, the defense gave Ventura an iPad with exhibits to review during the lunch break in an effort to speed things up. The judge told the defense team they need to complete their cross-examination of Ventura around lunch Friday, but he left open the possibility of granting them additional time if needed. He said he wants to have Ventura off the stand Friday. The direct took a day and a half, so the defense will have a day and a half. So you have today, you have tomorrow morning, Judge Aaron told the defense. Combs closely engaged with defense. Combs has appeared engaged with his attorneys and the testimony in court. During the questioning of Ventura about text messages, Combs wrote notes on orange sticky notes and passed one after another to his attorney sitting beside him. He also spoke during the break briefly with Anna, the attorney handling the cross-examination. His attorneys have indicated they value speaking to him. In a sidebar conversation on Wednesday afternoon, recorded in a court transcript, defense attorney Mark Agnifilio asked the court to push the start of cross-examination to Thursday morning so he could have time to speak with Combs. We need to talk to him, Mark said. It's not nothing but 45 minutes with him. Our time is very limited because he's incarcerated. So we would like to cherish having an additional 45 minutes to speak to him and get prepared for a very long cross-examination. So with this article, they have a correction. It said an earlier version of this story misstated the timeline of Ventura and Combs' relationship. Ventura testified Combs kissed her for the first time at her 21st birthday party. So let me see. Let me just read that again. Correct. Answer, Mr. So where did it miss? Yeah, because I could have sworn they said that she was 17, allegedly, when Puffy kissed her. So at 21 would not be the first time he kissed her, if I'm not mistaken. I could have sworn that's what I heard. And then at 19, that's when they officially started to date. But yes, anyway, so that was today. And as you heard, they want to get Cassie off the stand by tomorrow, Friday, at what is it, 3 or 5 o'clock? Court is until 5, but they want to get her off by the lunchtime because, like they said, she's due to give birth next month. But because she's due, they always said babies, they can come 2 weeks earlier, 2 weeks late. So right now, they're on borrowed time with Cassie, and they want to be able to cross examine her and not be rushed because her prosecution team, they were able to interview her. So they interviewed her, or not interviewed, she testified on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think she started with them this morning, but just for a brief moment, then the defense came in, and that's what you heard in the reading today is the defense, and then they want it tomorrow. But again, the judge would like it to be wrapped tomorrow at lunchtime because, again, Cassie is pregnant. She can have the baby over the weekend because I think that's something we read, that they don't want her to have baby over the weekend, and they can't complete it because if she has baby over the weekend, that's it. They would not be able to complete the cross-examination. So yeah, so that's it with Cassie so far until tomorrow, day 5. So gossipers, what are your thoughts? Again, I have day 1, day 2, and day 3 waiting for you to go and listen to. And as always, please like, share, subscribe. Let's grow our little channel. We are about, 80 subscribers away from 1,000. And, yeah, these stories, I mean, even the one where peed in her mouth and, oy, oy, oy. And then to hear, after the freak offs, they themselves would have sex. And it's like, how aren't you hurt? Doesn't it hurt to just be with a bunch of guys? And the thing is, it's all guys. I haven't heard of girls. If right? And the thing we would love to hear is, I don't think they're gonna ask Cassie this, because the defense attorneys, they wouldn't do it, but the prosecutors should have asked if she'd ever seen him with a man. I think that's something we would love to know, if Cassie would answer that question. Have you ever seen Sean in a sexual situation with a man? I think people want that kind of confirmation. Even though it's a story that's been going around that he's gay or he's bisexual, just to hear the question asked, and if it's answered, what exactly would that answer be? And if they ask it of Cassie. So I know they say coming up that Donna Richards, from the group Danny D. Kane, that she's supposed to be testifying, and also Aubrey O'Day. I think she was subpoenaed, and yeah, Aubrey has been talking for years, so it would be good to see. So on day 4, the boys were there. No, Christian, who is now King, and Quincy, they were there. I don't know if the girls were there, because right now the girls, they don't need to be listening to all that stuff. They're 18 and 19, and the stuff that their father is accused of doing to women, no, for those young ladies to sit and see the kind of person that their father is it's just bad. And when this is all done and over with, how will they be able to maneuver this world knowing that everyone basically heard what their dad did, right? So yes, gossipers, again, this is day 4. We're done. Go listen to day 1, day 2, day 3, and that's about it. Thank you, gossipers.